Welcome back to another episode on Anxiety Doesn't Own Me podcast. My name is Emmanuel Isaacson. I'm an anxiety coach who has struggled with anxiety disorder for over 3 years and now have been anxiety free for over 9 years and now help other people that are struggling with anxiety to overcome theirs in a natural way. On today's episode, what I'm going to be talking about is how a lot of us, we have been programmed in a certain way. We have been programmed to think a certain way, to believe certain things, and how we were never taught properly how to deal with our thoughts and our emotions. And it's not our fault or even our parents' fault or the people that surround us that have programmed us into thinking this way because they don't know any better. And especially our parents, where we have a lot of influence from. That, like for me, for example, with my parents, they have a certain mindset and a certain belief system that they imprinted on me while I was growing up. And that affected me a lot. Like a lot of fear was induced in my mind of don't do this or be careful when you're going this and avoid these types of people, and you shouldn't go at this time because it's kind of late, all these kind of things that they induce the fear inside of me that has influenced me and has made me to have anxiety. And again, I don't blame my parents because they don't know any better and they grew up that way. You understand? Also, the teachers that I had, they grew up a certain way. They think a certain way because that's where they've been programmed. And we as well, all of us, people that have anxiety and people that without anxiety, have been programmed in a certain way to think and believe certain things. But with us, people with anxiety, we haven't. And people that don't have anxiety, we have never properly been taught how to deal with our mindset and also with our emotions, because this is so important. A lot of us, whenever we're going through anxiety in the beginning stages, when we're struggling with anxiety, we are trying to deal with the anxiety like we did other things in life. But with anxiety, it requires a completely different toolkit than we have had used before, that we're used to using. And this is why we are not getting the results that we want. And we're not overcoming it because we're using the same toolkit. It's like using a hammer to screw something in. It doesn't work. You need a screwdriver. So we need to find the right toolkit in order to deal with our anxiety. Now, with our mindset and our emotional mindset that we have not been properly, been programmed in the right way, we need to start developing it. Again, it's not our fault, but it's our responsibility. You understand? That's the thing. I know a lot of us, for example, I know people that I speak with, they say that some of their parents were perfectionists, let's say, or they were very abusive to them. Or, for example, that I've dealt with people that have had, a lot of fear, that parents have instilled a lot of fear with certain things. So that has influenced them until today. And whenever we have an anxiety disorder, this is one of the reasons why. And again, it comes from years and years and years of stress, worry, and pressure, but that's being programmed since we're kids, because we are born with only a few fears: abandonment, a loud noise, and one other thing that we have instilled within us. The rest is we learn them. And that's why it has been programmed in a certain way. Like for me, for example, me personally, my own experience is that with my dad, he was just a very angry guy whenever we were growing up. And I don't blame him today, because I understand where he came from, because that's what his family was. That's the way they grew up. And I don't blame them, because that's what they knew. It's just a cycle that they're used to. And today, and even whenever I was growing up, I was a very angry person. I would get angry a lot. I would get into a lot of arguments with people, fights with people, because I was just a very angry person. And then I worked on myself to work on that anger. I broke that cycle. And today, I'm not like that with my family. Yeah, of course, you can't be perfect. And sometimes you are going to get frustrated and you're going to get angry. That's going to happen. But not the frequency. The frequency is a lot less. And the way I'm raising my kids is completely different than my parents because of what I went through, because of my anxiety disorder has finally opened me up and made me realize like, hey, I have issues. I have problems. I need to fix myself. There's a reason why I developed this thing. It's not coming out of the blue. It came from somewhere. It came from somewhere. So we need to learn how to develop our mindset. We need to develop our emotional mindset. I know I spoke about this in the last episode about the 4 things about each human being that has, and we need to sustain those needs that it has, like for the mental, the emotional, spiritual, and physical. But over here, I'm talking about the mental and the emotional part where we need to develop it, because a lot of us, for example, have been told that we shouldn't feel this way, or our emotions aren't validated, or even our opinions aren't validated. Our opinions doesn't matter. Like, who are you to give me an opinion? And I know a lot of parents do this. Like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You're a little kid. You have no idea what you're talking about. You don't know what life is yet. I've heard that plenty of times. Or not even acknowledging how you feel or anything like that. Like, what are you crying about? You know, saying these things. And again, each person can you can think about, oh, that, whatever had been told to you, and that affected you. That affects the person in their self-esteem. And I always talk about this. Self-esteem is number one. Self-esteem is going to help you tremendously, because that's going to help you to change and realize that, hey, I am actually valuable. Hey, like the mindset changes, and saying to yourself, instead of all these negative things about yourself, you start saying positive things about yourself, good things about yourself. You start feeling much better. You start to be able to feel vulnerable. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It's a strength. And I heard this a lot, like, only weak people are vulnerable. No, you know how hard it is to be vulnerable to some people? Do you know how hard it is to be vulnerable, to be open to being hurt? It's like you're just being exposed. You're exposing yourself, and you're fine with that. You're being vulnerable. That takes strength. That takes power to do that. Most of us, we're protecting ourselves. We're avoiding certain situations so that we don't experience these things. And this is why I say that self-esteem helps, because it would help us to be vulnerable, and vulnerability able to express ourselves in the right way and let us feel in the right way, and not being ashamed of who we are. That would help us to develop the right mindset to deal with anxiety, so that whenever we do go out, we are being vulnerable over there and be able to build that strength so that we could deal with the anxiety. That's going to help us tremendously. This is why I always say dealing with the self-esteem is key over here. Picking up your self-esteem is going to help you tremendously with your anxiety. But again, you see the mindset, developing the right mindset, which we have never given direction on how to do it. And the amount of influence that there is in the world can affect a person. Like, for example, social media, the amount of influence that there is on social media, the fake pictures and all these filters that there is out there makes a person, and not even that. Let's say a person, like we see people going on vacation, doing things that are interesting in lives, and what we compare ourselves, and that makes us feel sad. That puts us down. So that influences us in a negative way. But we need to feed our mind. We need to constantly feed our mind, just like whenever we eat food. We can't just do it once. No, we need to do it 3 times a day. Or for some people, I don't know, 2 times a day, whatever it is. But I'm saying every single day we need to eat in order to have the energy, in order to sustain ourselves, in order to live, in order to survive over here, right? Same thing with positive thinking. Same thing with mindset. Same thing with our emotions, to develop ourselves and to grow. It's an everyday thing. It doesn't have to be all day. It can be an hour a day, 30 minutes a day, but we want to develop ourselves every single day and have less of the negative influence, and being less of the negative influence like social media or TV or toxic people that have an effect on us. We want to reduce that and increase the positivity. We want to increase the good so that these things don't influence us, so that we get influenced in a good way, so that we can actually develop ourselves, because it's a battle every single day. And we are in a disadvantage because of the way our mindset has been programmed from the previous generation, or from our teachers or friends or whatever it is. We have been in a disadvantage, but we need to start developing ourselves in the right mindset by building our self-esteem, building our self-confidence, inducing positive messages within us, building ourselves up, because what we have right now, the way we are thinking right now, is what brought us to have an anxiety disorder. Again, I know it was a certain event, but again, from years and years and years of stress, worry, and pressure, and that comes from a certain mindset that we have that creates all that. It doesn't have from the external circumstances. And again, sometimes external circumstances are overwhelming, but majority of the time, it's coming within us that's creating all that. And if we're able to change, and this is what I did, I changed my mindset. And I continuously, into the day, feed myself and develop myself in a more mental way, emotional, spiritual. I try the physical, which is not an easy thing for me, but I try to do those things in order to better myself so that I could heal myself, so that I could every single day grow. Because again, this is what I did to overcome my anxiety. I developed myself because the mindset that I had before is what brought me to have anxiety. And that's something that I came to the conclusion. I'm like, okay, that's what brought me to the anxiety. That's what it is. And once I was able to change my mindset and able to change other things, it helped me tremendously. And until today, I'm already over 9 years anxiety free. And I want to provide you guys the same stability that I had. So to conclude over here is that we need to understand that, again, it's not our fault that we have not been taught properly how to develop the right mindset and our emotions as well. But it's our responsibility to do that because it's our life at the end of the day, and we live with ourselves 24/7. And we want to build a place, a home that's going to be a happy place, a positive place, so that we can actually grow and strive and to be able to overcome and heal our anxiety. If you are looking for a natural remedy in order to help you to deal with your anxiety and help you on your journey to overcome it, I created Calmly CBD, where it specifically helps you to calm down your anxiety and panic attacks. And as well, it doesn't make you feel drowsy. It doesn't make you feel sleepy. And it helps you to just feel calm so you can actually do things throughout the day like work, drive, go out, and do whatever you like in a more calmer state of mind, as well as not addictive or has any side effects or any withdrawals, which this way can actually help you to heal your anxiety and get you to the destination in overcoming your anxiety much quicker. You can click the link that's in the description. It would say Calmly CBD to place your order today. And then right now it's on sale for a limited time where you can buy one and get the second one free. If you did like this episode, please click the like button and leave a 5-star review. The reason why I ask is because this way we're able to reach more people, and the more people that we can actually reach, the more people that we can actually help. Because my mission in this world, my purpose is to help people to overcome and heal their anxiety naturally and show them that it's possible to overcome. Thank you guys. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.